Yeah, I think it's been quite an interesting kind of time for myself. We've obviously playing with Hereford. That's been going really well, and then getting the championship status and then returning to play, and then having that mixed autumn competition where some of us played against Ireland and some of us played against Scotland. It was good. Unfortunately, I got a little knock against Ireland, and that was probably one of the reasons. What was the issues? But coach he's got to look at players of the future as well as old boys like me. So we've just got to keep plodding away.
The Celtic Cup, we've won 5 in a row, going for 6 this weekend on home turf as it was. Which is really exciting, and an opportunity to carry on making history and carry on with this excellent run that we've got in the tournament.
Yes, to be quite honest, it's been quite a fantastic little competition for Wales. I remember the conversation happening back in 2013, and it was the conversation between the Irish and the Scottish, and I was kind of sitting in a meeting, and we said it was a great little mini competition, hoping that Wales at some point would enter it, and then obviously we did really well in that inaugural World Cup for the wheelchair with England and Wales, and it for us it kind of allowed us to have a bit of a stepping stone. Wales and Scotland obviously then just did their home and away fixtures around the Blackpool area, which was good. And then obviously we then had the opportunity when we kind of dropped down a little bit of a tier over a bit of time to compete in it. And it was a great experience. I remember the first time we played, and I think we were more. I think I was more shocked that we'd won it than anybody. But it was a great competition.
And you've led us into that question, and we're speaking to you because Harry, ever reliable, knows his stats when it comes to the wheelchair rugby team, and you are Heritage #1, which is a pretty cool thing to say. But it's coming up to 10 years since your debut, and you touched on it a little bit there. But what do you remember about your first game in a Welsh shirt?
Oh, I think for me it was very much just being quite proud of being able to play. Originally it was the factor that I was asked to help with a bit of coaching and try and get the game growing in the country, and that was really all it was. And then obviously eligibility through grandparents, and then helping work with North Wales Crusaders at the time. It was a real honour. It's something that I'd never thought I'd ever do, to be quite honest. I came from a rugby union background, had an injury, wanting to play rugby league, and then that injury kind of stopped me playing full stop in the running game. And then many years later to be asked to have a go at the wheelchair version of it, and I've got to say I enjoyed it. Prior to that, I had seen it down at Stoke Mandeville when the French first came over to try and promote it, and I just looked and that game that I used to love. But over time, evolution has created a really good game, and it's a great game to play. And it's the tackling and the try scoring, the big hits when we can. It's a fantastic audience participation. And when I speak about it to young people, and they look at you like, oh, so do you play on grass? And that's the best question I ever get. And it's like, no, we play in a sports hall, but we still tackle, and you have to go for the tackling, and then you show them the chair, and then that's it. It's kind of like, wow, it's really good then. So yeah, it is good. I've got to say, I'm feeling it a little bit more than I used to. Let's just say that.
so in those 10 years, can you pinpoint a highlight, whether it's a match or a moment or something off the field that you reflect on with, be it the most pride or just gave you the most enjoyment?
I think being with, just getting to know the lads over time that I've played with and making good friendships. I think that's been a big thing. I think also to win the Celtic Cup so many times, and also to be told that when you've kind of made history yourself, and by being up there alongside professional athletes that play the game, and you think, oh, I've only played amateur sport, and it's wheelchair, and so yeah, that's quite an interesting one. That's the one that I can't get my head around a lot of, but when I do, I'm like, yes, yeah, I think I've achieved quite a lot, which I have to pinch myself sometimes because I don't talk about it. I get told off that I don't talk about it. I should spread the word, and I just get on with it. My next door neighbours probably don't even know I play.
Do you get a lot of sports people who reflect on these sort of things when their career's finished, don't they? Until someone like me has to come do an interview and talk about it. So
no, it's lovely. So I've got to say thank you for allowing me to chat about it. It's really nice just to reflect sometimes and go, wow, yeah, I've played for so many teams, and how many caps, wow, and 2 World Cups, blooming it, 1 World Cup would have been a fantastic honour, and possibly a 3rd World Cup, if everything goes to plan training wise and injury free, he says. I would have achieved. I think I've achieved more playing the wheelchair game than I would have if I ever became a professional athlete. If I had become a professional athlete, it would have. I always say I would have been a bit part player. I would have been that token sub that came on and scored.
I suppose you're well placed then. You're well placed in the 10 years that you've been involved and playing for Wales for the wheelchair side. You'd seen the World Cup in 2013 that you referenced there, 2017, and now hopefully, like you say, fitness and injury permitting, you'll be involved in the autumn. How do you reflect on how the game has evolved as a game, first of all, and then also perhaps how the sport, we're looking, if we compare 2013 to 2022, the profile of the sport now, the profile that's being given by the organisers is, I want to go as far as say chalk and cheese necessarily, but it's up there, and it's being considered when the trophies are doing the tours of the country. It's there for all to see. It's given its profile. So how do you reflect on those things?
I think it's just grown. I think, really, to be quite honest, when we first were invited to the World Cup in 2013, it was a festival. So believe it or not, we came 3rd. I'm in that kind of niche guys that played and won against Australia, which again is a first, or not. It doesn't happen very often for Welsh men and women to play. And it's and sometimes I feel like a bit of a Jimmy Greaves. I go, I haven't got a medal for coming 3rd. But it has grown. It's really evolved, and it's evolving around the world. And it's great that the international boards took it on board. Wales has grown as well, because really, when I first got involved, there wasn't actually a team. There was more. It was a national team, but there wasn't any growth in the game. Crusaders came along, and we tried to do something with the Scorpions when they were established, and obviously North Wales really took it on, and they've gone on from strength to strength. Unfortunately, I had to move away from them for work reasons and personal reasons, but it's great. There's a club up there in the Super League. We've my team of Hereford, we're on the border, which is lovely, so we do get a few guys come across to us, and then obviously Tigers are all set up there playing. It'd be lovely to get Cardiff involved, and really any team in Wales, if they really want to make sure that they're a community-based club, just to grow the game with the women and the wheelchair it's a massive tick box. But the game's really it's got faster, it's improved. The French seem to get older but get quicker. Australia, they're doing really well at the moment. I really see that they've really grown. It'd be great to see what they're like as a team, but their sport, the NRL have really took it on, and they have the state of origin. And then you've got USA that are going to be. Nobody knows about them, but my background in wheelchair basketball tells me that they're going to be quick, they're going to be fast, they're going to be strong, and they may go further than everybody predicts, if you know what I mean. So so it's good. The game's good. The game's good, and a bit more growth in this country. As a UK, not would be lovely as well.
And how do you compare the player who made his debut almost 10 years ago to the player you are now? You've spoken about it hurting a little bit more at times, because let's take age out of it. In terms of
Yeah.
how do you compare yourself to then and now?
Oh, well, I still think I tackle too much. I think I do too many tackles. I try to read the game. I think I read the game a lot more now. I see myself sitting on the wing. Give me the ball and I'll score. Where before I used to kind of, oh, how many tackles have I made? How many tackles have I made? And also offload. I think I have developed myself. I think I was a bit of a one runner prop. One of my biggest biggest icon was Andy Platt from Wigan, and I was a big Hillary Hanley fan as well. So, and it's obviously you can't crab in a wheelchair, you can't go left to right. So you've got to kind of adapt the game. And offloading. I think that's probably been my better rapport, is the trying to read the game a bit more. I think but that comes with age, and it comes with So yeah, no, I'm in a good place. I'm happy. I'm playing good rugby at club level as well. I've got a lot of guys that are around me who are in the Welsh squad at Hereford, and it's been the last couple of training sessions with coach and the team. I've been really good. Touch wood. Everything goes to plan. That'll be great.
And there'll be no better way. I've spoken to, like I said, Steve and to Jody, and they're in no uncertain terms winning at the weekend is priority number one. That's the way you want to mark. You want to win any tournament, of course, and the motivate. But just for 10 years, if you personally, that's what you want. You don't want it to be 10 years and we became second. So how do you feel about going to that tournament, and what role, how important is it, particularly in a World Cup year, for the team to win first and foremost and perform well, to put a bit of a marker down and set your own standards going into the autumn?
Yeah, I think, well, definitely the marker. The marker's a big thing for us. I think, we don't have, the privilege of maybe getting a lot more competition than some of the other countries do. So to play against Scotland, and they've got Twig, who's ex-England. He led England well, and he's really making his mark with the Scottish team. And Ireland are looking strong. They've started to recruit, and Phil Roberts, who a lot of people know in the game, he's probably, to me, he was a great coach. I learned a lot from him under him, and he's him coming into the Ireland squad as not just as a player, his knowledge of the game, and being able to live, move his Wigan Warrior team into the status Super League. I think they're going to be tough games. But they're going to be good games, and that's what we need. We don't want easy. Oh, we're going to beat them 50 points to 10. We want good quality games that are going to test us as a team, test us as units. Test the coaching staff. Are they making the right decisions with the players? And we need to be, stamping the authority and saying, Wales are up there. We're in the mix, which we want to be.
And the world rankings would point to that, number 3 in the world at the moment, and going into a World Cup. If it was as easy as that, we'd be saying semi-finals are sort of a minimum aim. How much are you looking forward to that World Cup, given all the build up to everything, and what do you hope we can achieve in that tournament in the autumn?
Oh, definitely. I think the tournament itself is going to be a really good tournament. It's being built up. It's not just the men's game and the women's game; it's the wheelchair game as well. As you said, the trophies are going around the country being promoted. It's fantastic for that it's going to be live on the BBC. A lot over the last 12 months. After COVID, we're all adapting. Through that. It's going to be a really big tournament for a lot of guys. It's going to be a big tournament for me. If I'm selected, then that'll be, it'll probably, maybe the icing on the cake. I'll have to have discussions about it a bit later on. My daughter, she's 7 now, and it'd be great for her to come and watch Dad, playing, because all the tournaments I've ever been to, she's been a little dot, so she wouldn't really know what it is, So yeah, so I think from a family point of view, it'll be brilliant for us as a team. It's a marker, and yes, out of the pool stages, and then into the knockout stages. That's when the tournament comes to life, doesn't it? When you and yeah, if we can get that crossover game that we need, then yeah, wouldn't it be lovely to have a final with Wales in? Oh, it'd be beautiful. It'd be beautiful. Yeah. I can imagine it now.
When I asked Steve, he said, or words to the effect of, if I offered him to sign up for another 10 years, I think he would. I'm not pinning you to what does 10 years Celtic Cup World Cup at the end of the year? How much? It sounds like I'm trying to make you decide whether you're going to carry on or not. But what do you hope the future holds for you in a Welsh shirt?
Yeah, I think for me, I will. I've always been committed to Wales. There's people out there that know that other countries have come along and tried to ask me to go to other allegiances, but I've always been. I'm Welsh through and through. I'm very proud of my heritage. I'm proud of my grandparents, and if my around, I think they would be very proud of. But I'm sure they're looking down, and they've always been proud of of whatever I've achieved, to be quite honest. So it's I will keep playing, and I will keep working with anybody that is coming through. If I can give something to the next generation, I'm happy. I'm happy. But if I could, I don't mind. I don't mind. Hopefully you can cut through me and you'll see a Welsh dragon.
Final question then. Does the feeling of pulling on that Welsh shirt you spoke there of your pride, of your heritage, does that feeling ever change from game one to where you are now with all those caps you've achieved?
No. I've got to say, whatever part I do, whether I get on for 4 minutes or if I get on for a whole game, putting the Welsh shirt on is the biggest tick box for me. It's a massive achievement. As I said, it's something that I never thought I would do, and when I did think I did, the first time it happened, I actually thought probably it might be the last time it would happen as well. But it's just been a really nice roller coaster kind of journey, and yeah, you have your ups and downs, and you get your knocks. But yeah, no, it's still the same feeling. It's still the same. But to be quite honest, I think the last couple of years, it's probably been a better feeling. But maybe my personal attitude to playing is that I try and play every game like it's my last now, because then that makes me play, and hopefully that ticks the box for coaches and the staff and everything, and for the players around me. I try to support them where they can. If I couldn't play, I'd still run on with a water bottle and tell them exactly what to do.